We don't get what we want out of reality. We get what we are. In my experience of living in this reality, it impeccably reflects to us what momentum we are engaged in. This is not about the material of your life, but I am speaking about the perceptions that you hold about yourself, about your experiences, and what you perceive is a possibility or probability for you. Because what matters most is not specifically what happens to us, but how we choose to consistently respond inwardly and outwardly to what is in each moment. And this is ultimately, this response in the present moment is what cultivates the experience of our life that then unfolds in each next moment. And as we remember this, we shift ourselves beyond the scope of time constraining us and into present moment reality cultivation. I'm Danielle Lynn, and I have conversations with intentional creators such as yourself. And I imagine in today's conversation, we could talk on a few separate topics, separate yet interconnected, that might bring us back to a place of remembering, so you could more easily live the version of reality that you so choose. So one thing I will invite us to all key into right now, if we so choose, is that anything we tell ourselves is ultimately a story. Reality in life simply is the way it is. The beliefs that we have, they are the stories, the perceptions. When we say something like, it is hard for me to find others to connect with, or I don't know how to do that, or I can't imagine there's anyone awake and it's so hard to do this. What we're doing is we're simply revealing to ourselves the current level of reality opportunity that we're giving ourselves permission to access at the moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you're smart or not smart, evolved or unevolved. It's simply an awareness that that is what you have currently agreed to allow as a possibility in your reality. And you have the ability to shift the experience, if you like, starting with your perceptions about what is possible, probable, and aligned with you and who you are. From my perspective, there's no judgment on what anyone should or should not do in terms of their lives. Each of our lives could be seen as an invitation, an example of embodiment of what's possible our way. But from my experience in reality, it's certainly not my job or my journey to change anyone, to tell anyone what they should or should not do. And rather, I have found a very enjoyable experience when I make choices that are in alignment with my core values, with who I truly am, and then create opportunities for those who resonate to connect with me in ways that delight us both, or us all. As such, people who do not resonate with that have the opportunity to make new choices or new connections that align with them. And in this way, we become these incredibly effective self-sorting people, mechanisms, however you want to look at it, without needing to force anyone to come along with us. Everybody inevitably ends up with what delights them the most, based on what they are saying yes to, based on what they are choosing. I have found everything that we want or don't want really is toggleable within ourselves. I have found that reality reflects to us what we perceive that we are able to receive and experience, and that we don't get what we want, we experience what we perceive ourselves to be. And when we are letting go of perception, we experience reality as how we be, what we are. And any experience of reality that appears to be in contradiction to that may indicate belief systems that are being perpetuated consciously or unconsciously that would be in opposition to experiencing that, such as a desire to experience the company of those who resonate at the level of you do, while simultaneously having active a perspective or belief that it is hard to or impossible for you to experience that. You are, and any of us are, such powerful creators that what we truly subscribe to within ourselves, not what we are attempting to think or attempting to force, but what we truly perceive and believe and perpetuate, is often reflected to us in what we experience in day-to-day life. Now, please note, from my perspective, that's not a punishment. It's simply the effectiveness we have as creators and co-creators in reality. We have the ability to opt in, opt out, so to speak. And what many of us are choosing to remember at this time is how to more effectively operate as intentional creators, because perhaps for a time we allowed the autopilot systems to run, and some are going like, what's in my autopilot? What's going on there? Let's look under the hood a little bit, and maybe update the programming a little bit, or perhaps even drop the programming. Come back to the roots, come back to what you may already have set in there as the foundation, and see if there's been any bloatware added. Because some of us, we develop habits and systems as children to protect ourselves or protect our psyche. And then as adults, we might still perpetuate some of those patterns or beliefs. And perhaps for a while we do that, not realizing that we have the ability to update those patterns and beliefs. And this such conversation is one of those reminders that we all have the ability to update our patterns and beliefs. It is my experience that no one gets out of this life unscathed, so to speak. Everybody has their own unique experience that they are traveling with joys, with challenges, with delights, and with suffering. And part of our invitation is, rather than getting caught in the web of the story of our suffering, we can apply curiosity to it and see how our unique experience of suffering can become the mulch for some of our greatest gifts, some of our greatest wisdom, some of our deepest embodiments of teaching that we have to offer ourselves and others in this reality, in our reality. And in this way, when we are calling in something, say, such as community, we can begin with the foundation of what matters to us. A lot of times we're really clear on what we don't want any more of or don't want to have. But sometimes the what we want can be a little vague. Like, I just want to be happy, or just I want to hang out with cool people. What is cool people to you? What do cool people do? How do they act? What are their values? And for that matter, what are your values? What inspires you when you imagine connecting with others? And this line of inquiry can open up some insights, some places for inspiration to land and form into ideas. Because if you say something like, oh, I like hanging out with adaptable people who are intelligent or who are funny, who are creative, well, then maybe you'll find yourself inspired to join an improv group. Or maybe if you're like, well, I like spending time with people who are connected to nature, do these things, maybe you'll look up a local nature hiking, walking, foraging group. Or maybe you enjoy problem solving and solutions, so maybe you'll join what do they call them? They're like hackers clubs, where they go and do these coding games. And I share this because there are so many opportunities for us to play with ourselves, with our reality, and with others. And sometimes we stop at the gates of I don't know, when what we can do is go, well, I'm curious how it could be. Even if I don't know exactly what shape it looks like, or the way I will connect with people, or exactly how it will come together, I imagine that some ideas might pop up. I can experiment a little bit. I can visit a group meetup or start my own meetup. I can call up that friend I haven't talked to in a while. Or maybe see if there is a group that's interested in what I'm interested in. Things that we don't know are only that way, as an invitation for adventure if we choose. Because if you decide to approach life not from a place of it's impossible, but from a place of what is possible, you might be surprised at just how resourceful you really are. I'll close today with some thoughts on community. I perceive that we are naturally inbuilt to thrive, to connect collectively, to meet up with those who have similar inspirations to us. And if you feel the call to join and connect with others, then on some level they are likely calling out to you as well. This world may surprise you far more than you think, with the people, the ideas, the inspirations that are possible when we allow ourselves to reveal who we are, which we do through self-authenticity, and then making choices that resonate with self-authenticity. I invite you to take a look at this channel, the comments on it, the collaborations on it. This is just one reflection of how many of us are truly ready to be living a version of life where we are who we are, whether or not we fully know all the steps that connect us between this moment and an even more resonant embodiment of that. And as you're contemplating the choices of your life and calling forth your community and connecting with these steps, I'll reflect to you that finding this video from my perspective is yet one more ingredient, because you can apply what you enjoy from these conversations into the blueprint of what you're saying, yes, more of this, maybe more of this in person, maybe more of this with people who are local to me. And start seeing, like, it's showing up here. It's showing up on YouTube. It's showing up in certain places. Maybe I am tuning in to my people. And maybe as you meditate, you get some insights, or you take some walks, you start going, maybe I will join this class or start this group or open up this conversation or do that thing. You're much closer than you think. And so, my friend, it's been a delight to have this conversation with you today. I continue to be inspired by all the ways that you create. I invite you to check out the description link and see if there's something there that resonates to you to go deeper. Currently at this time, we have the Self Alchemy Lab community as well. You're invited to come check it out and see how you like that. If this video has been of assistance to you, please do like, share, and subscribe. And in all cases, I appreciate you and our conversations, and I look forward to our next one together.